and welcome back to my noodle series. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be discussing the North Node in the sign of Virgo, meaning that your South Node is automatically in the sign of Pisces. Now, for more information all about the nodes within astrology, then please be sure to check out my introduction video. And I would also like to highlight that the nodes are strongly connected with karma and past lives. And so for the purpose of the series, I will be addressing them as so. I'm also going to be talking about these placements rather directly, but please don't take everything I say as absolute truth or set in stone. And if you don't believe in past lives, then just try to look at the South Node as your younger years and your North Node as you grow older. Actually made a video about karma, so if you're interested, then I'll put the link to that video as well so you can check that out. Okay, North Node in Virgo. Let's do this. We're going to start off then by looking at your South Node in Pisces. So where are you coming from? So the first thing to be aware of with this placement is that your past life was spent in a dissolution of the ego. Now this could have been performed either through meditation or by taking spiritual quests. You might have taken many drugs, either as a way to reach higher levels of consciousness or as a way to merely escape this reality. You might have consumed a lot of alcohol, again, as a way to escape, to sort of drift away from the ego, from what's going on in your life. Or rather, what was going on in your life. Because being part of the human experience could have felt like it was just all too much. Perhaps in a past life you often locked yourself away. Maybe you were part of a convent. Maybe you were locked away in an asylum somewhere or in a prison. Maybe you were hospitalized. Or it could have been that you lost yourself entirely through the likes of music or poetry or art. Kind of like Robin Williams in the movie What Dreams May Come, where he dies and then he lives through his wife's paintings. So you could take that as a representation of you sort of distancing yourself from the world and through the likes of art. But whatever the case may have been of how the disillusion played out in a previous life, in this life, North Node in Virgo, you are dealing with the effects of the actions you made. So if this occurred through spiritual orientation, you might find that this lifetime, it might be quite confusing, totally confusing in fact, until you find a spiritual path with principles like those of your past incarnations. And if this occurred through drugs or alcohol, you just might have addictive tendencies in this lifetime, which you will find to be highly problematic. And naturally, of course, if you did lose yourself in the likes of art and music and poetry, these talents might remain as a way for you to remain connected emotionally. But ultimately, North Node in Virgo, in a previous life, you gave up pieces of your identity in order to merge with a higher energy. But in this life, all of the escapism and the daydreaming, it's not going to work very well in your favor, because it's these very things that may weaken you to the point that you can forget how to function on this physical earthly plane. What you must understand here, North Node in Virgo, is that in this life, you want to manifest your vision in the physical world. What you really want is to let go into something bigger than yourself that will support you and give you an expanded sense of identity. See, you possess this voracious need to experience peace and oneness, but in order to successfully attain this goal, you must go into the world and be of service to others. In fact, one of your blind spots is victim mentality, where you may say to yourself, unless I have constant compassionate attention and understanding from others, someone will take advantage of me. Yet, there is simply no limitations. There's no amount of giving from the other that can fill this need. They can't seem to give you enough reassurance to overcome this inner sense of helplessness that you feel inside. Why might this be? Because you find yourself in this life forever searching for a mentor, for someone to come and save you. So you surrender to the next person who you think will be that for you, completely blind to the fact that the only way to achieve your goals in this life is to organize your life in a way that you need them to be, where you feel strong and safe. But in order to do this, you must get out into the world and do something productive with your time. Can you do that, please? Please? And I know you might not feel overly confident about doing that. The world just might feel like this really scary place. But at some point, you have to begin actively participating in life. Another thing about this placement is that in a past life, you purified yourself by questioning your own motives and recognizing where you were lacking in goodness and uprightness. And in doing so, you gained a tremendous amount of insight, which now allows you to be non-judgmental towards others. Meaning that in this life, you don't really consider yourself to be superior in any way to other people, creating a very humble person. But because of this essence of humility, you might not take well to confrontation of any kind. You might not like competing with others or stepping on other people's toes. Therefore, how you live might not necessarily be about gaining material things. And this is because subconsciously you may feel that there is something impure about accumulating money or possessions. In fact, you might produce a creative piece of work which you have spent many hours or days producing, only for it to be publicly distributed as you sit without any compensation for it. Or it could be that someone else takes the credit for something that you made. But what you must recognize here, North Node and Virgo, is that money is simply a byproduct of service. It's a parameter of the usefulness of your participation. And I know you're highly compassionate and you want to help in any way that you can. But you need to understand that by creating a solid material structure for yourself, you can then give and help more. You can then help on a much wider scale. And this is something I would like to touch on here, because this whole idea that money is evil, you know, I used to think this. After I found out that money is debt and it's used for control. It's not that money is evil, it's the intention, the reasons behind the spending of money, which can be either evil or good. Money itself isn't good or bad. It doesn't pick a side. It's about us as the consumer being aware of the role that we play within the consumerism game. I mean, we're all players, whether we want to believe it or not. We all consume. Even before money, it was trade, exchange. I'll give you an apple for a haircut. I'll give you a potato for a cup of coffee. I mean, think about it. Why would a potato be equivalent to a cup of coffee? Therefore, it comes down to exchange of energy. Energy, yes. So how much of my energy am I giving? And how much am I getting back in return? Now, of course, I would like to think that if I was giving more of my energy, that somehow the universe would give the same amount of energy back to me, you know, karma and all that, as we've been talking about in this series. Hey, I guess this is why Venus is represented with money and value within astrology, right? But still, when it comes to those dollar bills, right? Those dollar bills. I'm actually from Ireland, but I say dollar bills because I understand that so many of you are from America. I still question what makes a dollar, a pound, or a euro in the first place. But regardless of the questioning behind it all, and I understand that certain things that we pay for are just ridiculous, like the basic essential things that help us survive on this planet. You know, next thing they're going to be charging us for oxygen. But the point is that money and consumption, they are a part of our human experience at this very moment. And that's okay. Meaning, North Node in Virgo, that it's no longer about giving yourself the shorter end of the stick and taking credit when credit is due. Another thing that I think is best to bring to your attention is that in a past life, you might have shut yourself away from society. I sort of already touched on this at the beginning of the video, but yes, you could have spent a previous life in a monastery, somewhere really closed off from the rest of the world. But in this life, you need to learn how to live in the world. It's about learning to set routine for yourself. It's learning self-discipline to live by the rules that give structure to society. And when you do this, you can then gain a tremendous amount of power and self-confidence, which you really need in order to function in the physical world. Indeed, North Node in Virgo, you must work on building your confidence, from which you learn that nothing happens in this life until your goals and objectives are clearly defined. Ultimately, it's about leaving behind tendencies of escapism, addiction, extremism, oversensitivity, feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, withdrawal, being a victim, confusion and disorientation, and avoidance of planning, potentially leading to inaction. Though what I do want to quickly say with this placement as a possibility is that you have learned the consequences of breaking the law in a past life. So in this incarnation, you may possess a strong sense of what's right and what's wrong, or you can be afraid, much too afraid of breaking the law in this life, as you fear the punishment that comes along with it. What this might actually do is it might make you highly superstitious, constantly looking out for omens, which completely distract you from noticing the common sense details. Sure, in a past life, you experienced spiritual messages, yet it seems now that you find yourself looking for premonitions that you just don't seem to notice what is actually happening on the tangible level. And so, with all of this information in mind, where are you headed in this life as we explain your North Node in Virgo? And also, what are some steps in which you can really put in place for yourself in order to head in this direction? The first step, North Node in Virgo, is having more faith in what you do. In fact, faith is a gift from your past life, but it's about using this faith in a way that says, all is well and everything is happening as it should. It's about practicing peace and serenity and trusting that all is going to be okay. Trusting that life is on your side and everything is unfolding in a way that can ultimately lead you to a greater feeling of happiness, to feeling more fulfilled, North Node in Virgo. See, what might happen with you is that you will invalidate yourself with these feelings of inadequacy, which can only lead you to this downward spiral. You might pick up a problem before it happens or feel anxious about your relationship with someone or about the outcome of a particular situation, but you just can't seem to know why. Why do I feel this way? You'll ask yourself. And the more you focus on the anxiety, the more anxious you will become. And then you start to imagine all kinds of worst case scenarios leading to paranoia. Then, as a way to regain the inner balance, you fight back and then you just doubt your intuition, resulting then in you getting stuck in your mind as you bounce back and forth between validating and invalidating your fears, which in the end doesn't work or help at all, leaving you more frustrated and more confused than ever. Therefore, it's really important for you to reach outside of yourself in order to attain a more objective approach, to gain more objective information. And it's having faith in your intuition, trusting in it. Because actually, your intuition is usually pretty much on point, usually correct. But it's allowing the intuition to speak fluidly rather than questioning it or denying it out of fear. In fact, you might have this tendency of clinging to the idea that when you encounter any type of chaos, you can just work it out and rise above it inwardly, hoping that the situation will then just resolve itself outwardly. Like, oh, it's fine. Yeah, I'm just rising above it, that's all good. Which in turn can then create frustration between you and others, as others are like looking at you saying, come on, solve the problem, Northern and Virgo. Come on, help, help. This is Virgo we are talking about here, right? Such a great problem solver. But yet, you might just slowly remove yourself from the situation, which in turn doesn't actually make you feel all that great, because you feel highly misunderstood by others who just can't seem to know why you're not helping with the problem. But now, it's about taking action. No more avoidance or withdrawal, North Node and Virgo. And I know, it seems that there is no end to the amount of self-doubt you feel and suspicion and anxiety you have. And you just want to go off on your own, all whilst you sit and you ask yourself, what went wrong? What did I do wrong? But the worst thing you can do is doubt yourself. Doubt the purity of any goals you might have. It's about finding out how your vision can work on a practical level. Discovering what it is that works in the material world right now. North Node in Virgo. Being of service is the antidote to your internal suffering. Because the wonderful thing about you is that you possess a great sense of connectedness with humankind and a deep compassion for the suffering of others. Like I said, you're non-judgmental and you really do care about others, and your heart goes out to those that are suffering. But in this life, you are learning to act on your feelings of compassion, to do something with them, really utilize them. This is because it's you, North Node and Virgo, who has an inner knowing that you are here to serve other people. And when any insecurities arise, you should try to remind yourself of your intentions and your motives, that in fact they are pure, and that all you want is to be of service and to restore order. When you focus your energy on the other person and what you can do to help, you will feel fulfilled with a calm confidence. You could participate in the likes of voluntary work, or by helping your family and your friends. Anything that makes you feel useful will result in you feeling happier and more fulfilled. Truly, North Node and Virgo, in this life, you are learning that you need to serve out of compassion and not out of duty. And when you do things from a feeling or feelings of love, you will generate a spiritual quality that is the connection to the universe that you do long for. It's about service coming from your heart, having a genuine desire to help others. And it's this sincerity that comes spontaneously from knowing yourself and relating to your feelings. When you are coming from a spiritual and compassionate place, incredible things begin to happen to the people around you, which can help heal them. Yes, North Node in Virgo, you have the hands of a healer, And as you start healing people, as you start staying in the moment and watching the details of where the energy is going and how other people are responding, your psyche opens and you see exactly where to place your hands, these healing hands, for maximum effects. Overall, North Node in Virgo, in this life, you need to focus, participate, and make your wisdom available to others. You are learning how to translate love into service and how to connect with the feelings of boundless love and compassion with yourself. You are learning to give rather than being drained. It's about gaining faith and taking action rather than doubting yourself and holding yourself back. It's about paying attention to the actual details of any situation, which can help you remain focused on the here and now. Because as you shift your attention from your own fears and you start to focus instead on the here and now, you can easily see how to restore order in situations of just pure chaos. North Node in Virgo, it is truly about gaining self-confidence through experience and taking risks in spite of fear. Okay guys, so that concludes my video on the North Node in Virgo. Yes, if you do happen to have your North Node in Virgo, I would be interested to know in which house your North Node in Virgo is in. So yeah, let us know in the comment section. I hope you guys were able to benefit greatly from this video. And that's me. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself, then go right ahead and click that subscribe button. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!